All right, we are right at 3 o'clock. Um, I don't know if we have quorum yet, um, but my guess is no, because you all fit on one screen.
We're actually very close, though. Give me just a second.
Well, that's okay. I'll start with a couple of quick announcements to let everybody know. We have a crazy busy agenda today. So, because of the craziness and the busyness of the agenda, please, please, please stick to your time limits um, so that we can get through everything that we need to get through. So, are we there yet?
We are not quite there yet, but if you'd like to go ahead, I believe our president just jumped in, and yes, there she is. So I will keep on the quorum part.
Okay. All right. So the first thing is can is everybody okay with the agenda as is? I assume you all saw it. I see heads nodding yes. Good, because it would be crazy to try to edit it as busy as it is. Since we don't quite have quorum yet, correct?
Mm.
We'll skip the approval of the meeting minutes for right now. And I think we can just go on to President Stokes' remarks so that
Yes, because I don't need a quorum.
no, you do not. So
I think
please
this is the first
go
time I can remember this happening.
ahead.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm just going to briefly go over some things that have happened since I last was with the Faculty Senate. Of course, since we last met in March, the Board of Regents has announced 5 finalists for my successor. And I think most of you are quite aware that 2 of them have already visited campus. The last 3 will be on campus. I think it's Monday, May 11th, and then the next one on the 12th, and the 5th one on the 13th of May. And so I expect that following those visits, that there will be a pretty quick turnaround by the Board of Regents on the announcement of who the next president will be. Also, since March, we finalized an agreement to launch Lobo Crossing. And I don't know how much information has been shared with the Senate about this whole big project, but it stands to really help transform the areas of South Campus. This is a mixed-use retail development that's near our athletic facilities. It will be anchored by Target, and I know that there is a planned groundbreaking for that project on my calendar for sometime in May or June. This will be a multi-tenant center that will bring what is much needed in that area, some retail, grocery, dining options. And it was a cornerstone of the South Campus Tax Increment Development District. And many of you may not remember that we partnered with the city and the county and the state to create this district, which allows us to be able to eventually, as funding is generated for this tax increment development district, some of that funding can go to build science facilities at the University of New Mexico. So it's really intended to be a win-win-win-win for all of us. Uh, The College of Population Health recently celebrated its 10th anniversary, and I suspect there are at least a couple of you on the screen somewhere that were part of that celebration. It's been remarkable to see the growth in that college, and I really love the mission of population health. We welcomed also Amy Egan as our new women's basketball coach, and she comes to us from Lindenwood College in Missouri and has had more than 300 career wins, multiple conference titles, and 6 NCAA appearances. So for those of you who absolutely love UNM women's basketball, and I'm in that category, I've watched one of the, I think it's the first game I went to was a women's basketball game when I was visiting campus back announced as president, but hadn't started in late 2017, early 2018. We've also, since we last met, we've announced that we've launched a new immigration working group, and that is led by our Vice President for Change and Empowerment, Asada Zarai. And the intention is to strengthen support for students, faculty, and staff, and trying to expand UNM's role as a trusted resource. So that group has been meeting and working, and at some point, hopefully, there can be a report that can be shared with the Senate. I did find out just recently, since we last met, that the University of New Mexico is ranked number 52 of the 2025 top 100 U.S. universities for utility patents. This is recognized by the National Academy of Inventors. And tonight, actually, at Rainforest, we'll be having a celebration of those who've been recognized for this kind of work for the university. It's very much something that Rainforest works with the institution and with our faculty. And UNM does very, very well in this area. Obviously, our ranking says a lot about what we have accomplished. We had a terrific Earth Month here in our community, and there were lots of events sponsored by our Office of Sustainability, including an Arbor Day campus cleanup. And I noticed a lot of people out, helping to clean up the campus. Tomorrow is day one of our 2-day tech days, which is something that brings faculty, staff, and students together to explore emerging technologies through presentations, discussions, and hand-on demonstrations. And speaking of tomorrow, for those who are wondering, I do expect that the finalists for the provost job will be announced, I hope, in the morning, so that you'll be aware of who is coming in and what the interview schedule is. I will say it's been very important that we get this project, get these interviews done before we get to finals week. Clearly, the presidential candidates are going to be here for finals during finals week. So the goal is really to have the provost interviews. I believe one might be on Friday, and then the others next week. In terms of what I've been doing, I, like many of you, I probably spend too much time in meetings, but I did, I do have a job where sometimes there's just a lot of fun. And I had the privilege for the first time of helping the Honors College commemorate 40 years of Scribendi. And I think those of you who are familiar with what the Honors College does, Scribendi is an award-winning literary and arts magazine that spotlights the work of not just our Lobo students, but they really, the magazine includes contributions from many university students it looks like largely the Southwest, but there are other regions as well. And I get a copy of Scribendi in my office every year, and it is remarkable to see what our students are producing. It's just the creativity is remarkable. I went up to UNM Taos last week. I had to drive to Taos. Now that seems like a long drive, and it's kind of like, oh my, I have to be on the road. But I tell you, there's just something beautiful about a spring day driving up to Taos. And I was there for the dedication of the Stephanie Mitchell Smith Center for Creative Learning at the Harwood Museum. And for those, I hope that you've all at some point have an opportunity to visit the Harwood. It's attached to the university. And Stephanie Mitchell Smith basically donated her home, which is a beautiful property right there next to the Harwood. And the space is to be dedicated to art education, and it's a place where artists and teachers and students and community partners can connect with each other. So a lot of programming left to do, but this is a major step forward for support for artists and for communities, and the allowing school age children to actually be exposed to the arts, and we know that that can be really beneficial for them. I did help kick off the annual Health Professions Symposium, which is something that I think they get more and more students each year. I think it was something like 1,700 high school students that are thinking about health professions careers. It helps them figure out pathways into healthcare. We celebrated the reclassification of the Carnegie Community Engagement. And I think all of you are aware that we're one of only 260 or so institutions in the nation that have this designation. We first secured it in 2020. I'm really grateful for the work of the Community Engagement Group, the Provost's office, Tim Castillo, his whole team. It's remarkable what they did to try to pull together all the ways that our university actually supports the communities that we're part of. And I also had a chance to put on a hard hat to look at Center for Collaborative Arts and Technology. It's starting to take shape. You know, you gotta wear the hard hat, and you gotta have the right shoes on to get this tour. But it is remarkable what that place is going to look like when it's completed. It's going to be just a huge and beautiful addition to our institution. But speaking of another addition, this afternoon, just before Faculty Senate, some of you may have been present. In fact, I'm sure some of you were present for the blessing for the Humanities and Social Sciences Complex. I would say this is kind of a special, only in New Mexico moment. I not had the experience of anything like this in my years and years of leadership in higher education. But what we did is acknowledge a sense of place in the community, and the more than metaphorical importance of having the Humanities and Social Sciences Complex at the very heart of our campus. My husband grew up, he was born in Wisconsin. His grandfather ran a pharmacy, and he loved root beer floats. And so when we first, I don't like root beer, but that's beside the point. We first came to UNM, my husband said, you know, we should do a root beer floats for the students. And so we started a tradition of offering root beer floats. We had it at University House in the first couple of years, but we decided some people, students in particular, are a little intimidated to walk into University House. So we started doing it outside, usually outside Zimmerman. Well, the wind kept us from doing it. The winds, you know how they are. We ended up doing it in the bottom floor of the sub on Thursday, but it was a great success. And we serve orange crush with ice cream or root beer with ice cream, and then we have a non-dairy component as well. So I kind of hope the next, and it's free. The shocking thing for students is, how much does this cost? No, it's for you. Come and get it. So we did that last week, and my husband joins us because it always happens around his birthday. And that just happens to be the case. So anyway, well, as I was getting ready for this meeting, I realized this is likely my last Faculty Senate meeting that I'll be attending as president. So I just want to say thank you for the years of being able to meet with you. I kind of miss the days when all the meetings were in person, but I also know how much more convenient it is to do these little screens on our computers. I am grateful for the 8 years that I've had here, and I want to thank you for all that you do for our university, for our students, for our community. And it's really been a privilege to serve as president. So that's the end of my remarks, but thank you very much. I'm happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions? Chris?
President Stokes, let me be the first to say, campus is not going to be the same without you. I know you have a lot of support from faculty, and it's going to be, your shoes will be hard to fill. So I just wanted to say that. And I also just wanted to mention, I know you mentioned the provost search. I wanted to let my colleagues know, because I know all of this information is happening in the moment. So as people may have seen, I put in the chat that on this Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. is supposed to be the open forum for the first provost candidate. I say that letting you know the official schedule should be announced tomorrow morning, and that that open forum should take place in the sub. And President Stokes, just so you know, I got this on really good authority.
I think I know who you must have talked to.
Okay. I'll just say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. Any other questions before we move on to the provost report? All right. Next up, our provost.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am pleased to be here this afternoon. I'll be brief because I know you have a full docket. But as President Stokes mentioned, she and I were just at the blessing ceremony for our new Humanities and Social Sciences building. On the next slide is a rendering of the building that we expect to be up in a few years, and we're expecting the ground to be broken sometime in August. But it was a wonderful blessing. And, you know, I've been at the university for quite some time, and I think this is the first blessing that we have had of a site for a new construction. So it was a real honor to be there. We're looking forward to that building, housing Spanish and Portuguese, American Sign Language, Dene, philosophy, English, a number of departments that are critical to our undergraduate general education programming, master's and doctoral studies as well. On the next slide, as President Stokes mentioned this evening, there's an event at the Rainforest, and we're going to be celebrating innovation awards of faculty, staff, and students who have received U.S. patents, trademarks, or registered copyrights. And in particular, we'll be celebrating Jean-Claude Diels as the Innovation Fellow. He is a faculty member in the Physics and Astronomy department. So I'm looking forward to learning more about his contributions and his award-winning works. So that's this evening. On the next slide, I wanted to give you an update on some of the work that I'm doing. And at present, we have 3 reappointment surveys that have been issued to the voting faculty at the School of Law, at the branch campus of Los Alamos. And we have also issued a reappointment survey for consideration of reappointing Dr. Eric Scott. Now, keep in mind, Dr. Eric Scott is not a faculty member, but I'm following the same process that my predecessor followed in appointing and reappointing academic leaders who report to the provost. So we are anxiously awaiting the results of those surveys. Those surveys are open for 2 weeks and will close shortly. And that then will conclude that phase of the process as we consider reappointment. Next, I had a wonderful trip to Washington, D.C. alongside our UNM alumni leadership and our government relations leaders. We had the wonderful opportunity to meet with members of our state delegation, not only members themselves, but their chiefs of staff. And I was able to discuss with them the incredible work that we're doing here, talked about our work in AI, our work around quantum science, and our work to boost our healthcare workforce. The visit also included this really tremendous research lightning lounge, and it was held in this very, very wonderful committee meeting space. And we had faculty Carrie Hushman, Kiran Bakshkar, Marcus Garcia, Zhu Zhang, Zhu Gan Lang, and Milad Marvian, presenting on their work, including the ROSE program, Alzheimer's disease, micro nanoplastics, quantum computing, and wildfire smoke impacts on health. They did an amazing job, and the 100+ folks who were in attendance really found their speed presentations to be quite interesting. So my congratulations to our outstanding faculty. I wanted to next give you an update as to where we are on, as of April 24th, with respect to our enrollment. I have this broken up into 2 slides, one focused on our undergraduate enrollment and the second looking at graduate enrollment. So as of the 24th, straight from the Vice President for Enrollment Management, Dan Garcia, our first-year student applications for fall 26 are down by about 10% as compared to last time, and that translates to a decrease of about 1,280 applications. Now, New Mexico resident applications are up by 2%, so we've got plus 142 more applications from our New Mexico residents, and as expected, our international student applications are down quite significantly. The good news is that our new student orientation registrations have caught pace with last year's registration as of April 24th. So it doesn't look like we're going to lag too far behind last year's new student orientation registrations. Our transfer applications are up by about 5.29%. So that's good news. And our transfer students are coming to us from our 2-year institutions, including our branch campuses and CNM. And I don't have data that breaks down where the transfer students are coming from in particular. But I can, if that's something of interest, I can certainly follow up with those data. Now, taking a look at our graduate enrollment report as of the same date, our master's level applications are also down. They're down by about 12%, and that translates to 180 applications. And again, given all of the uncertainty, we are seeing a substantial decrease in international student applications at the master's and doctoral level. So at the master's level, we're looking at about 43% decline, which translates to 256 applications. And at the doctoral level for international students, those are down by 30%. In general, doctoral applications are down by 13%. So VP Dan Garcia and I have been talking with our academic leaders to think through strategies to work more efficiently and on a more time-sensitive kind of timeline with respect to deciding, making decisions around applications. That way we can be among the first to inform our applicants that they have been admitted into a graduate program. That work is important work, but it doesn't really impact the number of applications as we are seeing that decline. So next up, I wanted to let you know that we are busily reviewing our colleagues' work as part of the milestone review process. These data include central and branch campus faculty candidates for promotion to professor, tenure and promotion to associate professor, the mid-probationary review, promotion to senior lecturer, and promotion to principal lecturer. In total, we have 107 candidates up for these milestone reviews. So we're working hard, hoping to get the notifications out. As you know, the faculty handbook requires that these notifications are provided to the faculty candidate by the end of June 30th. My goal, don't know if I will meet it, is to get those notifications out a little bit sooner. I know faculty are just, dying to hear whether or not they have been promoted. So working hard to get that done. The other thing that we are working on is finding some supportive administrative structures for interdisciplinary graduate programs. I've listed here the interdisciplinary graduate programs that right now we're working with to identify the best kind of administrative structure and home for their effectiveness in running their academic program, talking about water resources, optical science and engineering, nanoscience and microsystems, global and national security policy program. So former Associate Provost Bill Stanley and Dean Maria Lane led a working group last year and a half ago. Time is an odd concept for me right now. It's been a while. But what they did is they pulled a group together to examine a number of options for the administration of these programs. We want these programs to be well cared for, to have the kind of administrative support that allows them to be a highly effective running program. So the options available to them are to have a single college school affiliation. We're putting MOUs in place once they decide which of these options make sense for them. The second option is to affiliate with the graduate studies with Dean Maria Lane, or to affiliate with a college or graduate studies plus a center or institute connection, as in CHTM, for example. So I've met with all of the directors of these graduate programs a couple of times, answered questions, and right now they're contemplating which of these options they wish to pursue. Once they decide which they wish to pursue, we will effectuate that change through an MOU process. So I wanted to inform you of that work as well. Next, we're anxiously awaiting the faculty hiring plans from all of the schools, colleges, and branch campuses. We expect to receive these faculty hiring plans by May 8th. The process by which the faculty hiring plans will be submitted will be a new process, and this is the result of the work that I led as Senior Vice Provost in consultation with Siegel Consulting Group, where we pulled together a working group of folks from across the institution to take a look at how we actually work through faculty hiring. Faculty hiring plans, what we heard loud and clearly was that we needed decisions to the schools and colleges about the faculty hiring plans much earlier in the summer. So we've automated this process. We have moved the deadline up in the calendar, and we expect to get these decisions to your deans early in the summer session so that they can start pulling together faculty committees and making plans for the work that would begin in August. Finally, last time I was with all of you, I talked about our task force Belong that is designed to identify the kinds of things that we need to be thinking about here on Central Campus and our branch campuses as we work to expand the healthcare workforce. We have a student satisfaction survey that has been launched as part of this effort, and I can't tell you how pleased I am. I sent a note to colleagues across the campus asking for their assistance in providing incentives to our students to complete the survey. Within 10 minutes, and I am literally not joking here, within 10 minutes, I had golf lessons, I had tram tickets, I had coffee gift cards, I had Lobo Cash, I had our university chef willing to prepare a dinner for a group of 8. So we have some wonderful incentives for our students to complete these surveys. And we're looking forward to learning about how we can do better, how we can make the experience a more seamless experience for our students as they move through their academic journey. Survey closes on May 5th. I encourage you, if you have undergraduate students in English, math, the general education curriculum, here's a QR code, and I hope that you encourage students to complete that survey as well. That's all. We've been busy here in academic affairs, but I welcome the opportunity to answer any questions that you might have.
There was a question in the chat about the what was it? It basically was, how did our numbers compare to nationally about the decrease in enrollment applications? And then the second part of that is this possibly related to H-1B visa cost increasing?
I can't cite specifically how we compare nationally. I can surmise that what we're seeing in terms of international student applications certainly has to do with the changing landscape at the federal government level with respect to visas and all of that. In addition to that, I am concerned about our faculty's concern around funding opportunities and the decline in federal grant opportunities, which then introduces some hesitation to accept doctoral students and master's students into their research laboratories for study because they're unsure about whether or not they can actually support them through a research assistantship, for example, that is funded through a grant, a federal contract or grant. So I think there are a number of variables here that are impacting these numbers. We saw these numbers starting to emerge in this direction last year, but not to this extent. And I think we're just getting more and more clarity about how things are shaking out at the federal level.
Tito.
Thank you, Barbara.
Hi,
Really
Tito.
appreciate. Hello, Barbara. Very nice presentation. About the problem that you were, the concern about, having the those programs like OSC, MMME in engineering, which are multidisciplinary by itself when you put them together. I don't know if it's a good way to start with or can help, is the new hire from the Dean of Engineering, Stephen Sekulis.
Oh, yes.
She's in the first year engineering program. It is in engineering education. So it could be a cross point between STEM and education. And it can enable, in first year engineering, those kind of cross-disciplinary projects. So maybe can be a way, maybe contacting him if he has some ideas or can help.
I appreciate that, Tito. I've written his name down. Thank you. I forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right, cool. Thank you. All right, I'm going to keep my report really short because we have a really long agenda. So a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, there's a survey out for people for ops and for the president-elect. Please fill out the survey. We need at least 5 people to run for ops to fill the ops committee. So please do that. Reminder of the presidential evaluations come out real quickly after the candidates, but then hopefully they're going to be open again after we've seen all of the candidates. Please try to attend the forums if at all possible and encourage faculty to do that for both the president and the provost search. These are really important for us. And then on a personal note, having been at multiple universities, I will tell you that the interaction as the faculty senate we have with both the president and the provost is amazing. I've never been anywhere where the president comes to almost all of the meetings. So thank you very much for that. And thank you for the meetings you consistently have monthly with all of the faculty senate presidents that have been here. So we greatly appreciate just the fact that you're open and inclusive and that faculty opinion matters to you. So thank you.
Thank you.
That being said, we have quorum. So I need a motion to approve the last meeting minutes. So okay, Tito, there's a
A motion
Yep.
to move to approve the previous meeting. No, the minutes.
Yes.
Actually, should we approve the minutes of the minutes of the meeting agenda and then the minutes, right?
Can I do a point of order? Tito, you are not quite yet a faculty senator, so you cannot make that motion. So I think Liz actually did it first. So
Okay.
he will be a faculty senator next year. So
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
that's all right.
that's all right.
I
And
misunderstood
Louis,
that.
I take it would be a second, so we're good, right? Okay, does anybody have any objections, any edits to the meeting minutes? Hearing none, the meeting minutes are approved. Yes. Can we officially approve the agenda? Louis, your hand's still up, so I'm counting it.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah.
Yep, okay. And there were previously no edits to the agenda, so the agenda is approved. And with that said, we have a busy meeting, so I want to move on to the posthumous degree request. And I believe Lisa Lindquist was going to present this to us.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. How are y'all doing today? Are we all enduring the last weeks of the semester? Yeah, okay, good. Deep sighs, deep breaths. All right, so today it is my honor to bring to you a posthumous degree for Marie von Haas. She is a doctoral student in the history department. She was working on her dissertation. But I thought today what I would do is read a little note from her daughter, who I've been communicating with. So my mom's academic journey was more than a career path. It was a deeply personal mission. As the daughter of a Japanese war bride, her research focused on the lived experiences of children in post-World War II occupied Japan. Her work served as a vital bridge between personal narrative and historical record, culminating in a biography of her mother's life and her own. Her dedication to her studies was nothing short of heroic. Over the last 4 years, she navigated profound personal tragedies, including the loss of her husband, Bruno, who, by the way, we also awarded a posthumous degree for in 2022. The very recent passing of her daughter, Ria, followed by her son-in-law just a few days before Marie passed away. So despite these quote unquote bumps in the road, her commitment to her dissertation never wavered. My mom's goal was to reach the final line in May of 2026. As her children, we wish to honor the countless hours of research, writing, and intellectual passion she poured into the University of New Mexico. Awarding this degree would not only recognize her academic excellence, but would serve as a final tribute to a woman who proved it's never too late to pursue one's calling. And I just thought that was a beautiful sentiment from her children, and I thought appropriate to share with all of you. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
All right. Here, seeing no questions, do we have a motion to approve? Louis?
So moved.
Okay, and
Yes, yes.
and Ezra. So we have two. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, there is a poll for you guys to check.
And if you don't mind, while you're doing that, I wanted to remind each of you that our student-wide memorial, where Marie and approximately 9 other students will be remembered, is happening on May 4th in the Student Union Ballroom at 6:30 p.m. So you're welcome to join us if you have the opportunity.
Thank you. All right, and that was a 100% pass. So congratulations, the motion passed, and we will forward this on. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you,
Oh.
Lisa, for everything you do. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
You do. Bye.
All right, next up on our agenda is the consent agenda, which are the general curricular changes and the spring 2026 pending degree candidates. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I second.
And Liz, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, you have a poll. Please vote. And again, 100% approval. Congratulations, everybody. We've gotten through the easy part. The next thing up on the agenda is faculty handbook policy approval. And there are two pieces, the E10 classified research and the E130 foreign talent recruitment programs policy. And Eve Epsby is listed to present this. Does anybody know if she is here?
She was there. I saw her
Oh.
earlier.
She's listed among the participants.
She was on. I'm seeing her there. Yeah, she's on.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
on. She
I
may
agree. She's probably seeing a patient.
Yeah. I tell you what, we're going to go out of order then. We can come back to this when she's available. So if she hops back in, then we'll come back to this. The next thing is new graduate certificate program in special education pre-K to 12 licensure. And Sarah, are you here? Oh.
She might be, but I'm also here. I'm the department chair in special ed. I can also speak if that's okay.
That's perfectly fine. Go right ahead.
Sure. The proposed graduate certificate in special education licensure is a post-baccalaureate state-approved 21 credit hour program that leads to licensure in special education. We have had this program for over 2 decades as part of our master's program. So those who are only seeking licensure but not the MA would appear as non-completers. As such, we are requesting this GCERT to ensure that our numbers are accurately reflected in the folks who only seeking the licensure route. I've been instructed to keep this very short.
Yes. So are there any questions? All right. Can I have a motion to approve? All right. I see Lewis. And
I can second.
okay. Thank you. All right. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Can we have a vote? All right. And we have an approval on this one with one abstention. So congratulations, this is approved, and we will forward this on to its next step.
And Roberta, I see Eve on the meeting.
Is she back? Okay. In that case, then we will go back to the faculty handbook policy approval and see if Eve has anything she wants to present before we move to discussion.
Sorry about that. I don't have anything specific to add unless there are questions.
Does anyone have any questions about this? They've been out for review, out for comment. Now they're back to us for a vote. I am hearing none. So can we get a motion to approve?
So
I will
moved.
move to approve.
Okay, so I heard Svetlana, I saw Ezra, so that is 2. Is there any further discussion? All right, let's take a vote.
Roberta, I set these up as separate polls just in case, so I'm going to do the E10 first.
Okay, perfect. And the motion passed, so E10 is approved. So let's move on to the next vote.
Well, it's angry at me and doesn't want to launch. Maybe we'll have to do this by raising of hands. I don't know why it won't let me. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Now I think you should see it. Thank you. Sorry.
That's all right. And this one has passed. So there we go. Moving right along. So the next thing then on our agenda is new graduate certificate program in global and national security policy. And from the Department of Political Science. And so Professor Philip Holtquist.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Philip Holtquist. I direct the Global and National Security Policy Institute, and I'm also affiliated with Political Science. This certificate is really just a complement to our professional Masters of Science in Global and National Security. It's meant to be in some ways a sort of a smaller and more concentrated version of that. So students will take some policy analysis instruction and policy writing instruction in one of the intro courses, either from me in Global and National Security or Political Science or Public Policy. And then they'll take the electives in Global and National Security that make sense for their career. It's really meant to serve professional students. And that's really the main purpose that we have it for, is that a lot of our students that come to our professional Masters of Science or otherwise interested in our offerings are already working at the labs or on the Air Force Base or something like that. They often already have often already have graduate degrees. So the certificate gives them something transcribable for a sort of a smaller, more direct investigation into a few courses rather than take the entire program. And I'm happy to answer any more questions that you have about it, but I'll try to keep it short.
Does anyone have any questions? Seeing no questions, can I move for an approval?
I move to approve. Seconded.
All right. And any further discussion? Hearing none, can we get a poll? And the motion passes. So this is approved and we will move it on to its next step. The next one is a new Bachelor of Science in Economics. Christina Reiser? Is she here? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the new Bachelors of Economics? Bachelor of Science in Economics. All right, it doesn't look like it.
I don't see her, but hey, we're ahead of schedule, so maybe she hasn't popped on yet. So we could probably move on.
We'll come back to it.
Okay.
So, a new Bachelor of Science in Bioengineering. Associate Professor of Clinical and Biological Engineering, Associate Dean of Academic Affairs and Community Engagement, Daryl Dickerson.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I have a really quick presentation that I want to go through for this proposal. Share. All right, hopefully you can see my screens to give some background. So right now, there is no bioengineering degree pathway within New Mexico. And as a consequence, students have to leave the state in order to pursue this degree. And you can see within the region, there are actually many options, but not within the state of New Mexico. The only sort of thing that we have here are concentration in bioengineering within chemical and biological engineering here, and one at MSU as well. And so there's a great opportunity here to retain New Mexico talent, to build our healthcare workforce pathway, and really positioning them as the state's hub for bioengineering education. And I want to really emphasize that. The workforce need is very clear. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics as of last year. So great job growth in this area, and looking at regionally what's needed, biosciences and health as the number two economic priority in New Mexico. And so with that, we have the proposed BS in bioengineering. The department is stated ready. Within chemical and biological engineering, we have an existing graduate biomedical engineering program that's mostly within chemical and biological engineering with partnerships across campus, and the faculty infrastructure already in place for it. It aligns with workforce development needs. We have thought very carefully about student retention and access in the first year program and making sure that there's abilities for students across engineering to be able to move in and through bioengineering, and looked carefully within the region and throughout the nation to find ways to differentiate this particular degree from others, builds on our strengths here, but also focuses on things that are rooted within New Mexico's communities, expanding access and really focusing on local challenges. And that I will stop sharing, and thank you for the time and consideration.
Are there any questions? All right, can I get a motion to
Motion to pass.
Okay, there's Liz and
Second.
Okay, and Osborne. So is there any discussion? Hearing none. You have a poll already. You can vote. Teresa was fast that time.
I jumped the gun a little bit there.
Yeah, well, you got to get them up while the computer cooperates. And that has also passed. So now we still do not have Christina, right? So we will move on to the next one. A new graduate certificate program in educational leadership with K-12 administrative licensure. And who is presenting this one?
We have Brendalyn Tosold, but I don't know if she's on.
All right, we're going to keep moving forward then.
Okay.
just That people show up to present. A new graduate certificate in substance use and behavioral addiction counseling. Assistant Professor, Department of Individual, Family, and Community Education, Courtney Stark.
Yes, I'm here.
Yay!
Woo! All right.
You have the floor.
All right. Thank you all. So this is a graduate certificate, like Roberta said, in substance use and behavioral addictions counseling. We have the Bachelor's of Addictions Counseling program at UNM, but no graduate level coursework that is specific to substance use and recovery counseling. There is one program in New Mexico that offers a graduate certificate in chemical dependency that has some overlap with what we are proposing. But this certificate is 15 credit hours, and it meets the requirements for the licensed alcohol and drug abuse counselor credential in New Mexico. It's just a few training hours short of the 276 hours required, so students would need to attend a couple of conferences in addition to attending these courses to finish up and be able to be eligible for that credential. It also gets folks up almost halfway there to their training hours required for the National Masters of Addiction Counseling credential. And as part of this certificate, there are 4 new addictions classes in our graduate counseling program that are specific to addictions counseling. So currently our master's program only has 1 addictions counseling class. This would introduce 4 more. And if folks choose to pursue the certificate, they would complete these classes. They cover pharmacology and infectious diseases, motivational interviewing, the science of behavioral addictions, and clinical supervision of addictions counselors. And that about captures it. Any questions, thoughts, feedback, anything at all?
Does anyone have any questions? All right, can I get a motion? Okay, Lewis and Liz. Thank you. So is there any discussion? Hearing none. Can we get a poll? And this also is approved. So we will move it right along. All right. The next one is new graduate certificate in collaborative printmaking. Patrick Manning.
Hello, I'm actually here with my colleague Ava. Really quickly, this is a program that's already in existence. The certificate itself is not. So Tamarind has been running this program for over 50 years. Printmakers come in and study lithography, and they work collaboratively both with students in my department, which is the Department of Art, as well as artists from around the state, and have the opportunity then to apply to go on to either to get a master printing certificate, master printing from the Tamarind, or else actually apply to the MFA. So this is really just recognizing something that already exists and giving it certification as a way of rewarding students for doing this program. And that's really all I have, not much. Any questions?
All right. Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
You go, Christian.
Oops, you got a question?
No, just the motion to approve.
Oh, okay.
I second.
All right. There's 1 and 2. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we get a poll? All right, it is approved also. We are making record time. The next, a new graduate certificate in ethical AI for autonomous systems. And Professor Electrical and Computer Engineering, Miko Oshii, and I apologize for pronunciation.
All good, thank you. My name is Miko Oishi. I'm a Regents Professor in Electrical and Computer Engineering. This is a proposal for an interdisciplinary graduate certificate in ethical AI for autonomous systems that spans the School of Engineering as well as the College of University Libraries and Library Sciences. It is a 15 credit hour certificate open to both master's and PhD students in electrical and computer engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, computer science, and organization, information, and learning sciences that has arisen from a $3 million NSF National Research Traineeship that is new to UNM, well, new-ish, it's been here for a couple of years, on resilient and responsive AI for autonomous systems engineering. So this serves students, this certificate serves students funded through the RAISE fellowships, as well as for students who are outside of it and have interest in this area. In the certificate, students are trained in technical foundations of AI, practical ethics of AI, using an ethics of design approach, and disciplinary knowledge in the domain of practice. And there are no existing certificates that capture this knowledge base.
Are there any questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
I heard two, so.
Ken
hopefully-
Craddock, I can second.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a poll? And it is approved. So now I'm going to try to circle back to the two that I bypassed. One was the Bachelor of Science in Economics. So I don't know if anybody is here yet to present that. Yes, there you are. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Christina Reiser, and I am a principal lecturer in the Department of Econ, and thank you for your time today. So our department is proposing the addition of a Bachelor of Science in Economics to complement our current BA in Econ, and notably it would be the first BS in Econ offered in the state of New Mexico. And I do just want to make something very clear from the get-go that they're not competing degrees. They serve fundamentally different students with different goals. And so the goal for us is to be honest with students from day one about which path fits them best, rather than letting them sort of figure it out too late. So the BS is more of a targeted tool. It's for students who are quantitatively enthusiastic, maybe headed toward graduate school, research positions, advanced analytical roles. And so by offering both, we're just signaling to our students that we understand they have different professional aspirations. And the curriculum difference is pretty straightforward. The BS has the same core econ requirements as the BA, but it has what is called what I'm calling a prescribed minor in math or stats. So it's basically a math or stats minor with some curated courses. And those courses are based off of recommendations from our discipline's professional organization, peer institutions that offer BS and BA, and our own faculty's experience. And I think it's important to note that graduate economics in particular has become increasingly mathematical, so this helps those students. And the proposal goes through sort of all this demand. So we believe that the demand is already there. We have senior survey responses that indicate 1 in 4 seniors wish they had required more math and stats courses. Our enrollment data indicates that about 13% of our majors are already picking up general math and stats minors or second majors, which is great. You know, they're sort of assembling their own BS and econ. But our department wanted to make this curated set so that students who pursued a math or stats minor knew exactly what they needed to do for economics. So it's more of an applied math or applied statistics degree, if that's easier to think of. And it helps students in the beginning, instead of saying, you know, at the end of their academic career, they say, oh, I wish I had taken more linear algebra. Oh, I wish I'd been better prepared for graduate school. And external evidence is pretty compelling as well. So economic graduate study programs enrollments are increasing, master's and PhD programs. Regarding labor market data, there's a lot in the proposal, but you know, in New Mexico, for example, analyst occupations in which BS Econ earners would be particularly well suited for, and which require only a bachelor's degree, are projected to grow more than 25% through 2032, which is way above the state average, and national trends mirror this as well. And so that BS credential kind of serves as a quick check for employers of these sorts of occupations and for graduate programs as they sift through many applications. And frankly, I think that our department is a little bit behind the curve on this. Of our 22 peer institutions, 70% already offer a BA and BS in economics. So we're one of the few that don't, and we're a flagship university of the state. So we think it's important to do that. And lastly, I'll just say this is a pretty, you know, highly efficient intervention. The pieces are already in place. The courses exist. The faculty are here. A subset of our students are already pursuing a path like this on their own. So yeah, so it shouldn't, you know, it doesn't cost anything and there's a good benefit. So I thank you for your time and I'm happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Has anyone on the call ever thought to themselves, I wish I'd taken more linear algebra?
I know, I was getting the salary data and I was like, wow, these people are going to make more money than I do.
I wish I had taken more linear algebra.
Good for you. That's amazing. And Laura raised her hand. Laura, did you have a question or were you commenting on my sarcastic?
Oh, I personally love linear algebra, so I always want to take more. But I was just wondering, is it that students would take the BS or the BA, or would it be like a BA BS kind of situation? Or like is like what would happen to the BA in economics? Like would that maintain and be sort of substantially different from the BS?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So yeah, so the way that I think about it is the BA is sort of our core degree, right? The majority of econ majors are going to do the BA. So the BA is really great because it's more flexible. So in the College of Arts and Sciences, when you get a major, you also have to have a minor or a second major. So our BA students will take, you know, minors or second majors in political science, they'll do international studies, sociology, all these sorts of things. And so that's the same. But the BS is just sort of targeting those 13% of majors that we see that are also doing math and stats minors. And we just want to make sure that that group is getting that BS credential. So basically, when a student comes into the econ major, we're going to have advising guidelines that say, you know, what are you interested in? And, you know, which degree is right for you? Is it going to be the BA or is it going to be the BS? And the cool thing about it is that the BS, you know, it's not as flexible, but if a student starts off in the BS route and they decide, I don't like it, I don't want to do the BS anymore, I want something more flexible, they just have to change it to a BA. There's no difference. They just choose a different minor. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve?
And move to approve.
And a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Can we get a poll? And the motion is approved, so we will move this one on as well. Congratulations. Now we only have the challenge remembering which other one of these that I went over. I think it was a Bachelor of Science in Engineering.
Number 13, the graduate certificate program in educational leadership, and Professor Tolson is here. So
okay, perfect.
Hello. Thank you for letting me come and talk with you today. I am Brandolyn Toselt. I'm an associate professor in educational leadership in the Department of Teacher Ed Leadership, and Policy here in the College of Education and Human Sciences. We are presenting you with a proposal for a new 18 credit hour graduate certificate. This is in response to a piece of legislation passed in 2025 that requires that all principal certification in the state of New Mexico move to an 18 credit hour minimum residency experience with 450 field experience hours as part of it. There are additional requirements that came through the legislation, all of which resulted in us needing to rethink our principal residency program. This graduate certificate it will be the new approach to principal residencies and principal preparation here at UNM. It is both reflective of what is being asked across New Mexico, and also we are the furthest through the approval process at the state level. So we look forward to both meeting the state's mandates, but also being among the first in the state to offer this certificate, hopefully allowing us a larger market share of aspiring principals. Principal turnover is pretty high. About 1 in every 4 building principals leaves at the end of any given year. And so that's a significant impact on teaching the teacher force, which is also experiencing a shortage, but ultimately on students and communities. So we have a cohort-based experience, 2 semesters, coursework that's supported by field experiences. They have a mentor that works with them all year long in their building, as well as a coach that's employed through UNM, in addition to their actual coursework and their course instructors, all intended to build a supportive, developmentally appropriate approach to new principals, hopefully to both help people meet their career goals, but ultimately to limit the amount of churn that impacts K-12 student learning.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? All right. Hearing none, can we get a motion to approve? Lewis?
So moved.
And Ezra, that is 2. Any further discussion? All right. Can we get a poll? And the motion is approved, so we can move that forward, and hopefully you will be the first in the state. So good news for all. I believe that was all the votes, correct? Yes, I see a thumbs up. So the next thing up is the Immigration Working Group. So I'm glad we got through with this, because I thought this was important that we make sure we get it on the agenda. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone and how expeditiously you've moved through your agenda today. Super impressive. So Chris Elder and I are here to talk with you about the Immigration Working Group. And so you may remember last year that UNM organized the work of addressing new executive actions from January 2025 onward through the rapid response teams. And one of those RRTs was focused on immigration. And while most of the rapid response teams concluded their work in early fall of 2025, it was determined that we really needed a one university response to address issues related to immigration, to include DACA and undocumented students, as well as folks coming from other countries. So President Stokes charged the UNM Immigration Working Group with generating input to UNM's strategy to promote education and support to LOBOs, including recent and ongoing policies and executive actions affecting U.S. immigration procedures. And so this working group is sort of placed under the work of Goal 3 of our UNM 2040, Inclusive Excellence. And that's why I am working with a bunch of very smart people to carry out this work. And so President Stokes has requested for the working group to recommend a coordinated university-wide structure for addressing change due to federal immigration procedures and policies, clear communication of processes and procedures, and accessible resources to include academic support to students, support for faculty with regard to promotion and tenure, mental health support for students, faculty, and staff, and other supports. And so recommendations will include some public-facing resources on rights, responsibilities, and emergency contacts, some annual training, and dedicated resources online, and will ensure that we have clear communication out to all of our campuses. And so the working group has met a couple of times, and in our first meeting, given our short timeline, we elected to break into 4 subcommittees, one on visa and work issues, another one on mental health and well-being, one on our enforcement-related response, and finally, communications and education. Sorry, there's so much on the slide, but I'll just touch on the highlights. And so we are planning to have a report prepared for President Stokes by May. And we already have a sense of what's going to go in that report. So I figured I would share a little bit of that with you. So for the Visa and Work Group, they would like to create a standing committee focused on these issues to foster analysis when new policies come through, coordination and communication of emerging visa and work issues. And the members will be key individuals that are involved in immigration practice or who work with stakeholders that are affected by executive actions and changes in immigration policy. For the Mental Health and Well-Being Subcommittee, they're proposing coordinated training to stakeholders who support students, faculty, and staff, as well as some resource lists for targeted groups, including resources on mental health, on mentoring, and emergency scholarships and loans. The enforcement-related response group is proposing a couple of different things. One, in-person and online scenario training, so that we'll know what to do if ICE shows up to campus, into classrooms, and other spaces. We also are recommending that the university set some expectations for how instructors and supervisors are to support both learners and employees who are or whose family members are impacted by ICE detention and deportation. While we haven't seen a lot of that in New Mexico, we have a number of students who have been affected when their parents live elsewhere. And so we would just want to make sure we're being flexible and supportive of those students. And then finally, we'd like to see 2 social media campaigns, one by UNM PD and one by UNM Health, to communicate that PD nor providers or staff at UNMH are agents of ICE, and that we will not report offenders, victims, or patients or their family members to ICE. Both PD and UNM Health are important resources to our community, and we don't want there to be barriers to accessing those resources. And finally, the Communications and Education Subcommittee is proposing strategies that will work best to reach our student populations and ways to update the current immigration website that we have, as well as ways to address misinformation. And so we've had some communications go out about the immigration working group, including the President's Weekly Perspective of a couple of weeks ago. And these are the members of the immigration working group. And Chris, would you like to make the announcement on Universidad del Pueblo?
First, if it's okay, I just wanted to mention really quickly, you won't see their names on the list of people on the committee, but we do have UNM students of various documentation status who are serving as consultants to the group. So students are also participating. We just want to protect their privacy and their time. So Rosa Isela Cervantes, you all know her probably as the director of El Centro. She wanted we offered to promote this event that arises from the New York Times story about the sexual violence that Dolores Huerta experienced. And so this panel will be talking about sexual violence. There will be discussion of community resources that are available. And then there will also be listening circles, one for students and one for faculty and staff. So we hope you can join on Thursday, April 30th.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for everybody? I see thumbs up that people like it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question. Is there a link to that event that we can put in our notes and send to our communities?
We will put the flyer in the chat. You can send the flyer out.
Are there other questions? All right. Thank you for this work. It's very important. Louis, did you have a question? Or are you just moving your hands around?
No. No questions.
All right. I hear no questions then. Thank you for taking the time to come and present this to us. It is greatly appreciated, and I'm glad we stayed on time, so we got to it. I was a little concerned. She said she can't, okay. So she can't attach it, so she's going to send it to Teresa, and Teresa will send it out to our full list so that everybody has it. So that being said, we did make it through our agenda. So now we have time for public comment. Do we have any?
So Roberta, no public comment, but I just wanted to thank all of the senators this year who are rotating off of the committee for all their good service, and welcome the new ones that are on the meeting today that are going to come on, and those who are staying on. Thank you so much for all your service.
Yes, we have made it to the end of an academic year. So it's pretty amazing. And this was our last Faculty Senate meeting for the year. So I want to thank all of you. Tito, do you have a question?
I want to thank you, Nancy. She's a great support to the Faculty Senate and all the team that she has.
Okay, without Nancy and Teresa and Chris, I would have probably thrown my hands up in frustration this year, not knowing what I was doing. So my great thanks to all of them for everything they have done, and for all the people at the last minute committees and the things that we had to pull together on short notice. And so This was great, and for being very patient with me doing the lightning round of votes today to try to make sure we got to the presentation on immigration, which I was quite frankly concerned we wouldn't get to, and I thought it was really important in the times in which we're living. So, Liz.
Hey, I just wanted to add my thanks to you, Roberta, for your leadership, and to everyone serving on ops, which is a weekly burden, extra meeting, as well as to Chris, who I think has done really important work as past president. So thank you, everybody. It's a lot of extra time, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, and the one other thing I will say, just so everybody hears this and knows this, is I know at the last faculty senate meeting, the one that was in person, it was a little different and everything, but it is the first time in any committee I've been in anywhere or here that we actually got a thank you note. So I actually received a thank you note to the faculty senate. It was addressed to the full faculty senate. It was from a few colleagues in the College of Nursing who wanted to say, thank you for hearing them out for the work that you did to get the exception made, which was approved by Dr. Richards. And the most important part of the note was to say, these are lectures. Fairly new to academia, who said that they really now understand the importance of faculty governance. And so for all of you who listened, who engaged fully, who talked, and who basically made people understand why faculty governance is important, kudos. That was amazing. So, and I took a picture of the card and I meant to post it and then I forgot it. So, but thank you. And just so you know, there was a card that came in. And with that said, we are at the end of our meeting, and something says, I think for security reasons, it does not let me send an attachment. Well, welcome to my life working in the HSC, where it also won't let me screenshot anything. So, any other comments? Can I have a motion to adjourn? All right, I see multiple motions. We never have anybody object. So that being said, we are adjourned for this academic
But
week.
there's still 32 minutes left.
Oh my God. Well, Chris, do you want to talk for 32 minutes? I mean, you can
The fact that you all got through all those program things in that time, and the presentations were great too. They were concise.
I don't want my colleagues to hate me.
You guys are amazing. I wish you all a very happy summer. And so enjoy for the main campus and the branches, enjoy your time away. For HSC, we'll see you in June. Bye all.